In this session, we'll be looking at the defect resolution workflow. The defect management process is integrated within the customized JIRA test workflow. The test defect process tracks and manages the detection, resolution, and retest of test defects identified during the test execution. Specifically, this process involves reviewing and prioritizing test defects by the triage team, assigning the test defects to the technical team for fixing, and then reassigning back to the testers to retest the bug fixes. The status really shows where the defect is in the workflow. So in this session, we're going to go into this area here, which is the defect triage and the defect in fix, and the assignment back to the test team for the retesting of the bug fix. Let's now go into JIRA. The test scenario is currently with the tester. The status is in progress, and in this view the tester has several options to choose from, and these are represented by the transitions. Either pass the test, close not tested, defer the test, or test failed. In this illustration, we're going to fail the test. In this screen, the tester has to capture as much information as possible to enable the assessment of the defect. So this will include error messages or any other information that can support the defect. In addition, we're asking for file attachments, which again could be screenshots of error messages, and also screenshots could be captured. So let's select test failed, and now the status has switched to defect triage. Let's just check out the workflow, and we're here. Defect triage. The defect triage team now has several options. Either defer the test. This could be where, for instance, the change request is required, or the defect could be under investigation. The other option is to assign to fix, and we're going to make that selection. And in this screen, the triage team will capture the following. First of all, the assessment category. In this instance, it's assigned to fix, and a very high level assessment of the defect. Also will be captured the severity in terms of low, medium and high, and also the fix complexity, which will be low effort, medium effort and high effort. This may be possible to complete this at this stage. This is really the ETA around the fix, and if possible this would be completed at the triage stage. If not, it will be passed on to the technical team when they've made their assessment of the bug. Let's now assign to fix, and the status has now switched to defect in fix. Let's again look at the workflow on that, and here we are, we're down here. So what are the options? Well, either we're going to fix it or we can't fix it. If we select bug fix, then what we see here is the next screen. Now this particular field is if there is a link to an external defect management tool. If that's the case, this would be the link with that system. Also would be captured for analysis purposes is the defect category. And in terms of bug fix comments, this is where the technical team would capture information to enable the tester to follow instructions around the retest. Now these instructions could be retest in full, or possibly could say to the tester, continue where you last left off. This could be the case where, for instance, in an interface that the overnight run didn't was not completed for some reason, and therefore the recommendation to the tester is just to continue where you last left off. So let's select bug fixed, and now the status has switched to reopen. And again, let's just check where we are, and here we are in the workflow. Now this is now back with the tester, and the tester has several options. One is to close and retest in full, or to continue with testing. Now, as stated earlier, this will be perhaps on recommendation from the technical team who have fixed the bug, but if it does require close and retesting in full, then there will be a procedure the tester would follow, which involves the cloning process. So let's just check out first of all the workflow just to see where we are, and we're here. So the two options, close, retest in full, or continue testing. In this instance, what we're going to do is close and retest in full. But before they do that, let's now clone the defect. Now, JIRA prefixes clone to the scenario reference. Let's just create the clone, and now the clone is created, and if we check below, we see that JIRA has created an automatic link to the original scenario which failed. So let's just check that out. So here is the original. So it's a parent and child relationship, and again, if we go below, we can actually go back then to the clone. So it's just a URL link which allows us to hyperlink between the two scenarios. So this means now the tester can close the original test. Let's just go back, and they will close and retest in full. They'll make some statements here in terms of their test has actually been closed and that a clone has been created, and we'll just close that now. That has moved to the status test closed. We just check out in the workflow where we are, and there it is down here. So let's just close that, and we will jump using the URL back to the clone, and we're now in the clone. Now see, the status has switched to open, so that means we're right at the start again of the workflow process. So the tester would select start testing. Now if this clone fails again, then the tester will assign it through the normal workflow to the triage. The defect team, by the virtue of the fact has the clone prefix, will know that this has failed before, and through the hyperlink, the technical team will able to go back to the parent to look at the fix which was put in place and try to understand that what's gone wrong, whether there was a relationship with that original bug fix. And really, that is the simple end-to-end of the defect resolution process. JIRA lets you change the columns displayed using the list view as opposed to the detail view. Simply click on columns at the top of the right of the issue table to open the column configuration dialog. Now here you can choose with the checkboxes what fields you'd like to include in the column headings. Now, for the defect resolution team, there are obviously going to be some key fields which they're interested in, and the ones I'm going to recommend are the bug fix ETA. If we can find that one, there we go, the bug fix ETA. Also the defect severity, there's that one there, and also the fix complexity. Now we don't see it on here, so what we're going to do is fix and complexity, and there it is. So let's now click on the done, and those fields should hopefully have now appeared in the view. Yes, here they are, the bug fix ETA, the defect severity level, and the fix complexity. Now JIRA allows you to reorder these very simply by dragging, so you can actually move this right up here, and hopefully, yes, it's just repositioned it. So that's down to personal preference, how you want, as an individual, want to manage it. But I recommend, as I say, that these are very important and should appear each time when viewing in the list view.